Good evening everyone. I just want to make a quick video today talking a little bit about Miguel combos. I know a lot of people come to my channel specifically for Miguel content, and as you probably know, he happens to be my favorite taking character of all time. He's probably not my strongest character in this game, but definitely one of the characters that I have the most fun using when I play online and stuff. So what I want to do in the video is just talk about what I've boiled down my basic Miguel combo game to. So it's going to be my combo suggestions off of all of his important launchers. You know, when we made the initial guide on Miguel and stuff, that was actually the first YouTube video I ever made. The character was completely new back then, and I was obviously completely new to making videos. So I've been thinking that either I want to go back and maybe, you know, put some more effort into some of the stuff I talked about back then. And in this video, I just want to specifically talk about standard combos. So by popular request, I've turned on command history for this video. I know a lot of people have asked for me to do that. So we're going to put command history on, and then I'm going to show you all of my standard important combos. And now there are three things that I consider when I choose what combos I want to use with my character. First one is obviously damage, but then also whether or not the combo has good conversion options in terms of the wall. Does it carry far, and do I have the option to convert my combo if I'm looking for a wall splat at different ranges, which I think is very important in this game because the wall has huge potential damage and a huge competitive advantage in terms of positioning in this game. And then the last thing is ease of execution. I really do not like to have to do inconsistent combos that are hard to perform in a competitive game, because when you drop them and you end up losing the round, it is so frustrating. And so you want to know that you're able to get, I usually say 8 or 10 times, or 8 or 9 out of 10 times in a competitive game, you want to be able to consistently get your standard combos. So with that in mind, what I've basically decided on in terms of my normal Miguel launchers are this. I'm going to start with the Hopkick. I'm going to show you the combo once, then we're going to talk through it, then talk about some conversion options, and then we're going to move on to the next launcher. So for the Hopkick, what I do looks like this. Okay, we've got counter hit on, we've got to turn that off first. Okay. Alright, so that gives me 63 damage, which is very solid off of a 15 frame Hopkick. You can go a little bit higher with this, but I think the damage is definitely there, and the combo is very convertible and very easy to do. So what I do is I do a Hopkick, I do a down back 2 right away, then I do a down forward 1, then a down forward 4-1, down forward 2-2 for the spin, and then I do his normal ender, which is 4-4 2-1. One thing to note about this combo is that after the down forward 1 right there, or including the down forward 1 right there, you do down forward 1, down forward 4-1, and then down forward 2-2. These are all down forward moves, which means that after the down forward down back 2 here, you can just hold down forward with Miguel and just rest your thumb on down forward, and then you have that input buffered throughout almost the whole combo. And so then it's just an issue of inputting the attack buttons in sequence with your right hand, so it becomes very easy and ergonomic to do because you're just holding down forward for the most part. But yeah, that's my suggestion for the Hopkick. And then if you want to convert this towards the wall, excuse me, you can modify the ender into 4-4 2-2, or if the wall is closer and you just want to cost kind of a high wall spot, you can use down for 1-1. You can use a single down forward 1 if the wall is very close, and you can also use a very good option, which is down forward 2-1, which would look like this. And then you can see that causes a sort of high flop towards the wall, which is very nice when you're trying to get a high wall spot. Yeah, so that's it for the Hopkick. Like I said, you can go higher in terms of damage if you're using Savage up forward 3s in your combos, but that's a little bit more finicky, and this would be my suggested combo. Next, we should look at down forward 2-1, which is his other important standard standing launcher. And the thing about down forward 2-1 is you cannot go straight into down back 2, because as you can see, while it does connect here, it is not a true combo, so this does not work for a combo. And so you need to do filler in between, and the best highest option damage you have most of the time is standing 4. And so the combo I do when I want damage off of this launcher is I do this. And that gives me 69, which is very high, very solid. Again, you can go a little bit higher with this, but I think the damage is definitely there, and the combo like feels good to do. And so what I do is I launch it down for 2-1, I do a standing 4, I do down back 2, then I do down forward 1-1 and hold 4 to go into Savage, and then I spin with Savage 1-1. You need to get that Savage 1-1 out very quickly for this to spin consistently and not drop, but it's just a timing issue and you'll learn it, and it's not very difficult at all. And then the last thing to note about this is that 4-4-2-1 ender needs to be slightly delayed. If you don't know, in Tekken when you're doing forward moves, you can input the forward and then you can wait quite a bit before you actually input the attack, and it will still come out, and you need to do that a little bit here because you need to go very deep basically for this to connect, because it's kind of far in terms of range. I think there's one more way you can get 69 off of this launcher, which looks something like this. Yeah, so that gives you 69 as well, and some people might prefer that. The only thing to note is that you need to do this, the combo is basically the same, so you do the launch, you do a standing 4, down back 2, then I do a single down forward 1 to Savage, I spin with Savage 4, and then I do this slightly more advanced Miguel ender that might not be super easy when you're new, which is you run up and do a down forward 1, and then you do a 4-4-2-1 right away. That's like your best carry option, like an optimal ender with Miguel in a lot of cases. In this case it gives you about the same damage and carry, so that's just an option you have if you prefer it, but it's a little bit more difficult to do. And then another cool option off of this launcher that I had a viewer send to me, he sent it to me today and I thought it was really cool and I thought it was good, so I want to show that as well. What he sent me looks like this. As you can see, also very solid damage, 67, so only slightly lower, but it's even easier to do and it feels really good. So the combo is down for 2-1, then do a single down forward 1, hold 4 and it's Savage, you do Savage up for 3, then you do down forward 2-1 and you hold forward to go into Savage again. And this is important, it's something a lot of people don't know. You can actually go into Savage after down forward 4-1. Down forward 4-1 has a manual or like a hold forward transition into Savage. Then I spin again with Savage 1-1, and then you do the normal 4-4-2-1 ender. So that's pretty cool as well. And then a combo I use sometimes that's going to be like my starter suggestion if you feel that this is difficult to pull off and you just want something very easy that you're never going to drop. So like when I feel like I just need enough damage that the launch isn't wasted and I want 0% chance of dropping, what I'll do is I'll do this. So the damage is quite a bit lower at 64, but it's super easy to do. So this is just down forward 1, down back 2, down forward 1, and then down forward 2-2 for the spin and forward 2-1 for the ender. Very sort of standard Miguel combo, standard stuff, but that's a good option and a good starter option as well for him. Okay, so the next launcher we need to talk about is while standing 2-4. This is a move that I haven't talked about enough at all on this channel because I really underestimated it when the game was new, or the character was new for console. It is like one of the best buffs to the character and one of the best while standing launches like ever. I absolutely love this move, it's amazing. Okay, so the problem with it is that previously Miguel had while standing 2-2, which is this 14 frames, so very fast while standing launcher, but it was hard to get good damage off of because it does, you know, it's 2 hits for 15 damage, which is super low. And then like, yeah, it was hard to get good damage off of it. So a buff they gave him in this game is they gave him while standing 2-4 instead, which is, you know, also 14 frames, but has better damage potential. And I talked about how I feel like this move is also kind of difficult to get good damage off of, and I felt that it was finicky. But since then I've started using it a lot because it's really fantastic. I mean, look at the range of this launcher is crazy, and it's underestimated. Like, look at that range. Like for a while standing launcher, that's so far. Normally if you have that much range on your while standing launcher, you're talking about like while standing 2 from Kazumi, which is super slow and punishable. This move is like 14 frames, so it's super fast. So you can like backdash with Miguel and sit in crouch, look for whiffs, and then whiff punish super hard with this. And it's a very, very good move. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So I looked around for a combo that I really liked, and I found like my own personal little favorite option that I do that I'm going to show you now. So this is what the combo looks like. I'm going to show it first, and then we're going to explain it. Alright, so this combo gives you 57, which is not super high, but it's a lot more solid than what I was used to getting off of this launcher. It's fine, it's solid in terms of damage. It's easy to do. The only thing you need to get used to, which is a little bit tricky, is that after the launch you need to do a deep sidestep right. And I know a lot of people don't like to have the sidestep in their combos, but Miguel is unfortunately a character that a lot of the time needs to specifically sidestep deep right to get good damage in his combos. So this is just something I suggest that you practice, because you're going to be able to learn it quite quickly, and once you're able to do it, it's one of those skills that's just going to make you a better overall Tekken player. So, you know, it's not hard to do if you're used to sidestepping in combos at all. Then it becomes very, very easy. But the other reason I really like it is that, so the combo I do, right, I do the sidestep right into the down back 2, I then do down forward 1, another down back 2, and then I do down 4 1 plus 2. And the reason I like that for an ender is it's very long range, it's going to break the floor and spike the opponent, but also has the option of going into Savage, which means that I can spike my opponent down, and then I can use Savage and mix them up for Oki, which is pretty cool. So I can do stuff like and then I can go straight to, you know, stuff like that, and then I can do crazy follow-ups. Potentially very powerful, and it's very fun to do. It feels really good. So I love this combo. And then if you want to convert this for the wall, all you do is after the first down forward 1, you can do go into Savage off of the first down forward 1, and then do Savage 1 2 1, or is it 1 2 1 plus 2, like this, and then you get 52 damage, and you get a good wall carry. So that's very solid as well. So I just think this is a great launcher that, you know, I talked it down, and I was saying, you know, I didn't really like it previously, but now it's like, you know, one of my favorite moves ever. Just quick note on the move. I mean, we're not doing a Miguel tutorial or anything right now, but just note that the second hit of this is high, and so if you need to use it specifically for like whiff punishing and after you've ducked things, otherwise you can get that second hit ducked, and then you're going to eat a lot of damage yourself instead. So something to note. Okay, so that's basically your 3 most important Miguel launchers: your Hopkick, your down for 2-1, and your while standing 2-4. This is like the big 3, the main package, and then everything else is a little bit more fringe. I think I want to mention quickly, let's mention 2 more normal hit launchers, and then I want to go into counter hit stuff, because we got to do a little bit of counter hit stuff as well. So first thing I want to talk about is charged down back 1. Down back 1 is this great trip low for Miguel, which leads to a guaranteed 37 damage, and is one of his most important mix-up tools up close. It's like a slowish low, but it's like fast enough that you can get away with it a lot of the time, and it makes him scary up close. It's kind of his version of like a falling leaf from Leo, or a demolition man from Paul, if you know what I mean. It's not quite that move, but it's almost that move. But if you hold the input down, he charges it up, it becomes slower, and it becomes a launcher. This is obviously not super commonly used because of how slow and how launch punishable it is, but if you get it, then you can do a combo that I didn't talk about in my initial videos, is what I'm trying to say. Because what I talked about in my initial videos is that you can do a while standing 1 like that, and then you can like start going into like a normal standard Miguel combo. But you can get a lot more damage here if you do a full crouch cancel, which is something that I didn't know. So I want to show you that quickly as well before we move on. So the combo I do off of this right now looks like this. That gives you 62, which is pretty good, but the important part of the... Oh, I erased the command history, that was probably not a good idea. Okay, so if you look at my command history right now, you can see the first thing is the down back one, and then there's a single up input, and that single up input is the full crouch cancel, which makes this combo work. And if you don't know how to perform this, I talk specifically about this setup and how to do full crouch cancels in one of my previous videos, so I suggest you check that out. But I just wanted to mention quickly that this is another option I found off of this launcher that I want to suggest, right? So the last normal hit launcher I want to show you before we move on to counter hits is forward forward 3. My combo off of this has changed slightly since the earlier videos. Just mention that this is a very good move that I'm trying to use more. It's safe and it's homing and it's got good range. Even if it doesn't have massive range, you should never overestimate the range of this move because it's dangerous to whiff it, obviously, and then you can't use it too often because it's a duckable high. But it's the kind of move when your opponent is sidestepping a lot at range, you throw this out maybe once or twice in a single game, and if you can get a hit, it's massive. So the combo I do off of this has changed a little bit. What I do these days looks like this. So that's 76 damage consistently. I get the option of going into Savage off of that down forward 4, 1+2 Ender again, which I like. And yeah, because the first hit is also the spin move, you can't spin in the combo, and so you need to do stuff like that to get the damage. Again, you might be able to go higher, I don't know. If you have other suggestions, let me know, but that's a solid option that I like to use. Okay, so let's turn on counter hit now and talk about the important counter hit launchers that you do have. So forward 2 and back 1 are like the big ones, so I'm going to mention them first. Forward 2 Telefonazo, iconic Miguel move. It's not as fast as back 1, but it's got better range and it's got high crush properties, so it's what you use to like try and go under jabs and stuff, right? And so the combo I do off of this, which I think is like easy and consistent for 70 damage, looks like this. That gives me 70 damage, and it's just very standard. It's forward 2, down back 2, down forward 1, down forward 1 4, down forward 2 2, forward forward 2 1. So very standard stuff. The reason I like this is I do the exact same combo off of counter hit back 1, meaning that I have like these moves in sort of the same section of my brain, right? So it's easy to remember. The only difference between this and back 1 is with the back 1, as you can see, Miguel migrates to the left a lot, and so he needs to compensate by doing a sidestep right before the combo starts, like that. And after you've done that, it's the exact same combo as the previous launcher. If you're trying to like practice sidestepping in combos, if you're not used to it yet, then this might be a very good place to start because you've got a lot of time and it's like super easy. You just set the you turn counter hit on, and then you do back 1, sidestep, down back 2. Back 1, sidestep, down back 2. And when you're able to get this consistently, you've basically learned how to do it. And so I think it's like a good place to start practicing these sidesteps. Like I said, they're not hard. Like if you're already a Tekken player, this is very easy for you, but I remember being new and not liking when I had to sidestep in combos at all. But anyway, yeah, you do that, you sidestep, and then you do the down forward 1, and then you do the exact same combo as of the previous launcher, and you get the exact same damage at 70, which I think is solid, so that's pretty cool. And then the last counter hit launcher that I'm going to show you is back 3, which I think is important. I don't use back 3 much at all, but I think it's good and I want to use it more, mainly because you're trying to like create frame traps with it and stuff. But if you do get the counter hit, it is a launcher and you can get good damage. Problem being that depending on the opponent's hitbox, depending on the range you hit at, the combo can be inconsistent. So for example, a lot of time you can get down back 2 like that, and then you can get massive damage at I think 80, yeah, so that's really good. But that down back 2 right there, you see it whiffed. So I mean, sometimes you just don't get it, and if you can get used to those variables and you know when you can do what, then go ahead. But I found that the most consistent option that I like to do is actually to go straight into a down for 2-2, straight into a spin like that, because this hits consistently, and then you can do a combo. So I do that and I get 65, which that's a 15 damage difference, which is high. So yeah, if you have other suggestions for this combo, or how to like get this down back to hit really consistently, I'd like to know. Like, you know, is there a sidestep thing you can do or whatever? Do you delay it? I'd be very interested to know, because I feel like I want to get more damage off of this when I do launch. But for now, I feel like just going straight into the down to 2 is the best option. But yeah, that's something that I'm still developing a little bit, so maybe we'll talk about that more in a future video. But I think that's going to wrap it up for like the main launchers that I use with Miguel and the main combos that I try and get off of them. I mean, there are other things like, you know, this and like counter hit, that, which is a launcher as well. And let's see if I can show you the launch properties. Yeah. So, you know, there are other things, but I think these are like the ones that you're going to use 95% of the time, and these are just some easy and consistent combo suggestions that I want to give you for the character. But like I said, chip in with your own suggestions. I'm very interested in learning more combos, because I think this character has some super fun and super cool options to use. So for now, thank you so much for watching. I'm working on the next character tutorial right now. It's going to be out very soon. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Soul Calibur and that reveal, which came out yesterday. So yeah, really sort of interesting videos coming up in the next week or so, so stick around. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you, and bye bye.